Hello, it's Wednesday, September 2 today, and we are looking at Esther chapter 4. I really want to encourage you to read Esther 4 on your own. If you'd like to read online, I've got a link posted right along with this video, and I'll take you directly to the passage, and you can read that way. The book of Esther is an interesting book. The book of Esther never mentions God, never mentions anything to do with worshiping God, prayer, sacrifice, that kind of thing. And yet, to read the book of Esther as part of God's people, you can't help but walk away feeling that God has been in control all the time. There are a lot of things that happen in the book of Esther that just seem to be they work out too well for them to be a coincidence. And so the lesson we see is that God is at work, even though maybe we can't see him. Maybe we don't understand how he's working or what he's up to. So in Esther chapter 4, an edict has been published. This great order has been sent out that all the people in the Persian Empire are to kill the Jews on this certain day. And this has happened because one of the chief advisors of the king of Persia hates the Jewish people, hates God's people. And so he's come up with this scheme. He's tricked the king into agreeing to it. And so it seems that God's people are going to be eliminated all throughout the empire, basically all throughout the world in their understanding. But at the same time, the queen of the empire at this time is Esther. And she is a Jewish girl. And some series of events has been happening that have led to Esther becoming queen, having the king's favor, having almost access to the king. She says she's still not allowed to go before him uninvited, but he's happy with her, and she is in the king's household. And meanwhile, her relative, Mordach is well aware of everything that's going on. He's got connections. He knows that this is a plot, and he has influence over Esther, and he encourages her. This is what's going on. Our people are threatened. You are in a position to help us. This is the time for you to act. Go to the king. Ask for us to be saved. And then he says, if you don't, I'm confident that God's people will be saved. But it won't be through you. And don't expect that you can get out of this. Go. Maybe God has put you in this position for this reason. So our lives, I think, are a lot of times similar to what the characters in the book of Esther are facing. We trust that God exists. We trust that God works for our good. But sometimes we can't see exactly what God is up to. We don't hear God speaking to us in a loud, booming voice like God's people did at Mount Sinai, for example. Maybe we haven't witnessed miracles going on in our lives. But the book of Esther encourages us to trust that God is at work, that God is at work in seemingly ordinary circumstances, that God brings together things that maybe seem like coincidences for his people's good. And we trust that God has a plan. And we trust that when we have the opportunity to act, that we should do it. We should trust that God has given us opportunities to act for his good, to act for the good of his people. So these are the kind of things I think about today with the book of Esther, and specifically with Esther chapter 4, that God is in control and that God is at work. And it may not be easy for us to see it, but we trust that he's working for good. And so we make the most of the opportunities he gives us. If you'd like to share your own thoughts, please do so. Otherwise, I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching.